Pleasant day to all my subscribers, my viewers, the obedient family, active citizens, and Nigerians. Thank you for joining me once again. Now watching the burial, the mass burial of the 50-something people from Bokos, and also the 50-something people from another side, Bassa, in Plateau State. My heart is heavy. It's quite unfortunate that we have gotten to this point, that the person that was given the mandate, that snatched and grabbed it, and INEC actually played along and gave him, have finally deserted everybody and is after living his best life, the best remaining part of his life. Zero IQ for governance. Zero, compassion. Zero character. And this is the same person that was attacking Goodluck Jonathan during his time. Oh, the box stop at the president's table. Oh, it is clear that these people are not the killing of Christians, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to paste all those things because Nigerians are actually using it to remind him of how a mess it has become in his own time. How can we say that the president of a country is in France while there is massive killing, massive destruction going on in the land, and nobody cares? Now the governor of Plateau State have come out to say, oh, defend yourself. Defend yourself with what exactly? And I've said this before, that's the last option. At the end of the day, everybody must be able to stand up and say, okay, look, the government is not gonna actually help us in this situation. We have to be the ones to deliberately start fighting these battles if we have to survive. Because if the people of those communities don't realize that they are the only ones that can save themselves from this quagmire, and they keep crying out to the government and say, oh, come to our rescue, is a failed government already. There is no even telling about it. So the earlier we have it at the back of our mind that this is total failure. In the part of the economy, in the part of the security, it is absolute failure. And there is little or nothing they can do about it, the better, because it will actually help us to be able to start fighting for ourselves. Peter Obi had to cry out with a loud voice today and say, leave that France and come back. Nigerians are actually crying out too. But why this is happening, the question I always ask, where are the religious leaders, the senior religious leaders, that when Israel was having their own wars, they came out and were praying for Israel? When Ukraine was having their own wars, they knelt down and they placed their hands on the map of Ukraine. And they were praying for the Lord to deliver. How many of them have come out to speak about the incidents that happened in Bokos? How many of them are talking about the insecurity? To show you how terrible this has become. Religious leaders playing with the head of people. I'm going to be showing you what somebody said very importantly, and with that, I'll also show you that the River State, protest is gaining more momentum. In fact, people are leaving their local governments and they are landing. Women are leaving their local government, landing in the main city to actually increase the numbers, and they are becoming very massive. I can tell you, this thing is going to lead to something else very soon. Let me just allow you watch these videos, and when I come back, we'll continue.
I cannot believe it that people are hungry in this country because of the economy, and the pastors are not saying anything. Majority of the pastors are not saying anything. People are dying in Jos, Benue State, Edo State, Ondo, several places. I saw one of the bishops in, I think, United Nations somewhere in America, and he was informing the world what was going on in Nigeria. The pastors did not second that voice. I am struggling to believe that a thing like this is happening in this country, where the same lesser matter happened, that the Jews protested, and since APC came on board, no more protest. But during Jonathan, you came out, you protested. What kind of people are we? That people are dying. Look at what is happening in Bokos, in Jos. Look at, the funny thing is that, why should anybody carry weapons from state to state? The funny one, in Edo State, it has happened again that they caught some of these Fulani guys, and they had their weapons, the guns, hidden in a mat. Why do you hide it if it's not criminal? Why is it being hidden? And the most terrible thing is that people like Atiku would comment and say, "Oh, what happened in Uromi? This, this must happen, that one." But you deleted a tweet that was made concerning Deborah. I'm making this video because of the Christians, and I'm telling you that you are dying for nothing. You're not dying for God. That's not persecution. It is not. If you are dying for persecution, Leah Sharibu is the kind of person you will say is for persecution, because she was asked to denounce Jesus and she said no. You can't come to my farm because you want to eat up my stuff. You kill people, do this, do that. That is not persecution. That is coordinated attempt to grab land, to do whatever, to do their agenda. And I say it without mincing word, it is Islamic agenda. Because it's terrible how they don't talk when it concerns them, but when it's happened the other way around, all hell is let loose. The governor of those states will be going to Kanu to go and do Almajiri, who has paid condolence visit to him for all the people who have died at the same Urumi and everywhere. Stop dying for nothing, dear Christian.
Now you've seen it, right? That is an absolute truth there. Absolute truth. Where are the religious leaders that are quick to start praying for Ukraine and Israel? Where are they? Where are the religious leaders that held protests during the time of Goodluck Jonathan? It was not this bad. Where are they? How many of them are spoken? How many of them are coming out to call out the government? How many of them are actually even talking about the genocides of Christians? How many? Instead, we see foreign organizations even paying attention to it. CBS and the rest actually bringing it to the world, the notice of the world, telling them that, oh, there is serious genocide going on Christians and all that. But we have senior pastors here that all they concentrate on is big tithes and offering, how to build, skyscrapers, heavy schools, collect money, fly jets. And who are those funding those jets? Wicked politicians. Those are the people that are actually doing that. So at the end of the day, how do you come out to speak We saw them with some of them with their placards at the end of the day during the protest in Jonathan's time. But have they hosted any protest again? Nothing. They are just there, quiet, as if nothing is happening, and Christians are dying on a daily basis in the north. Fulani headsmen are rampaging communities, killing everybody. The president is the so-called president, because as far as I'm concerned, he is not. He grabbed the mandate. He's there in France, having a cool-off when there is insurgents, there is crisis in the land. Tells you more about leadership. And when Jonathan was there, he was one of the very outspoken person, talking about how Jonathan had failed in securing the lives of Christians and the people of Nigeria. But this is his own turn. It has become worst. Are we even talking about that? Look at the bomb blasting going on in River State. The pipeline bombing and everything. Look at the protest that is going on because of one very wrong decision from the same character. And he's not even willing to rectify it. This is a complete and total failure. Anybody that you will need to call it what it is. And it's quite unfortunate. Peter Obi, everybody's crying out. But what do we have the Sultan of Sokoto saying? That social media is a terrorist organization. Let me allow you watch these videos before I come and wrap this up. Now, let me start with Mr. Macaroni. Mr. Macaroni actually went to go and dig out Tinubu's old tweets and actually retweeted it, putting his name in it. Now, this is what Tinubu said during the time of Jonathan. He said, the slaughtering of Christian worshippers is strongly condemnable. It calls to question the competence of Jonathan to protect Nigerians. Now, Mr. Macaroni is now helping him to rephrase it. He said the slaughtering of Christian worshippers is strongly condemnable. It calls to question the competence of Tinubu to protect Nigerians. Let's take another one. Now, in this one, Bola Tinubu said Nigerian security situation is precarious. Nigerians are tired of excuses and explanations. They want protection for their lives and properties. Now, Mr. Macaroni also brought him into the picture by saying Nigeria's security situation is precarious. Nigerians are tired of excuses and explanations. They want protection for their lives and properties. Now, let us take some of the tweet he actually tweeted. He said, no matter the matter of security, the buck stops at the president's table. Like in other countries, Jonathan is the chief security officer. Stop Boko Haram. He went further to say Nigeria's security outlook is depressing. The unending attack suggests the failure of intelligence. Government must rethink its strategies. Now, the next one he said is, just as Jonathan's laps up praises, he must bear responsibilities and accept blame over Boko Haram's deadly attack. Now, this were his attack on Jonathan when Jonathan was the president, and now he is even doing worse. Now, I'm not going to be reading these, but basically he talked about unemployed youth. He talked about how the military and police have been paid by Jonathan's government. He said a lot during the time of Jonathan. In fact, they were the ones that led the protest with Pastor Adeboye and all the likes. But now, it is worse than the time of Jonathan. Now, let us take what Peter Obi said to him. Now, this is from Peter Obi's official X handle. He tweeted, he said, Mr. President, domestic problems beckon. I am compelled at this time in our lives as a nation to call on our retreating president's attention to the security challenges at home, which entails that he immediately suspend his ongoing retreat in a foreign land and come home to address the overwhelming security situation across the country. This urgent call has become necessary following the rising incidence of crime and criminalities all over Nigeria with an apparent absence of governance. In the 2 weeks you have been away, over 150 Nigerians have lost their lives to insecurity across Nigeria, especially in Plateau and Zamfara states. The repeated pipeline explosions in the Niger Delta further reflect a nation in distress. In the northeast, Borno state leaders are bemoaning the return of insurgents, with troops and civilians being killed randomly. In the southeast, the story is the same: killings and adoptions. Amidst all these, the CEO of the troubling company called Nigeria is retreating far away land in France from the company's headquarters. The primary duty of any government is securing the lives and the properties of its citizens, and one wonders the type of retreat going on in another country where peace has been secured by their leaders while blood continues to flow in our country. The fight for a better Nigeria is not about individuals. It is about ensuring that every citizen can see, feel, and benefit from the policies and decisions of those in power. I therefore like to urge Mr. President to quickly suspend whatever he is doing in France and rush home to take responsibility by addressing these disturbing issues. This is the new Nigeria that the nations seek. A new Nigeria is possible. P.O. Now I can tell you, if you go under this tweet, the quotes of this tweet, you will see that 90% of the Agbadonians or the Baptists, the people supporters, all of them are silent. They can't say anything. And I can tell you that everybody, the comment is massive. I just don't want to put, because I don't want to stretch the video for too long. But this is the situation on ground. Let's get back to the video.
What happened has happened, and it's there. You can't come and be through social media. So that's one terrorist organization, social media. Social media is a terrorist organization. What they do, put somebody in his comfort room and formulate stories, and you will swear that it's true. So, social media is a terrorist organization that we must deal with. Security agencies must deal with this terrorist organization called social media. So we're not happy with what's been happening either on the Plateau or other places.
You've seen it, right? When people are using total social media to show the realities, these guys are fighting for how it's going to be blocked. Thank God for social media. Thank God for tweets. You saw the tweets that Tinubu put out there during the time of Jonathan. And Peter will be complaining. But who do we have next? The Sultan of Sokoto telling us that social media is a terrorist organization. No. His people are the terrorists. He should start getting in line with that. And stop trying to blame social media for whatever reason there is. You must be able to call a spade a spade. Time has come for people to be able to voice out. This thing is a menace. And there is nobody that is able to call. They have lost every capacity and ability to tame this thing. If you're waiting on the military have failed. They don't even know what to do. If you're waiting on the DSS and some other, agencies, security outlets and everything, they are overwhelmed with what is happening. So there is no way that they are going to change the status quo. It's going to be from one suffer to another. And then we have the Sultan of Sokoto that is coming out to look at social media as the terrorist organization when there are terrorists for real ravaging the north. The social media that people are exposing the follies of these people have become the terrorist organization. That is to show you the mindset of what they use. And that is why the north is very backwards. With what they have produced and all that, they're supposed to be at the top. But look at them. Because their politicians prey on the mindset of the naive mindset of their people. Sell narratives. Stand on religious ground to deceive, gaslight, confuse them. And then because they are tied to their religion so much, a lot of them will believe these people, see them as God. And what happens? They will continue eating on the necks of the people. Evil is looming, anarchy is looming, and then what we are hearing is how they should ban social media because social media is a terrorist organization. Or God, social media is not a terrorist organization. Your people, the terrible ones, are the terrorist organizations, and they need to be dealt with. And who can deal with them? With the president, the person that is called the president, the so-called, that snatched and grabbed, don't know what to do with it again. Is it not Shetima that came out that period and was shouting, oh, he's going to handle the economy, me, I will handle security. Now they have silenced that one. That one don't even exist in Aso Rock. And people are dying on a daily basis. For the people of Bokos, Benue and the likes, you need to start looking for how to defend yourself. Because I've said it times without number, nobody's coming to your rescue. If you think this government is serious about dealing with insecurity, you are actually joking. A good number of them are using it to actually make money. They enjoy what is going on because it puts a lot of money in their pockets. Do you know how much goes in for security in this country? How much they leave to those guys to buy stuffs and the rest, contracts that are flying everywhere. They are using it to make good money. So the perpetrators will not stop, because I can tell you that the actors of this insecurity are not far-fetched. They are within and around. in high places, enjoying what is happening and using it to cash out. So it's time we actually start looking for a way to defend ourselves. If it means collecting small money from the community, go and look for 1 or 2 guns, give some people, train them as vigilantes. It is important that the community start defending themselves, because everybody in the DSS now is talking about the first line of defense. Oh, we can't actually deal with it. First of all, the DG came out to talk yesterday, or is it early hours of today? Another senior official granted an interview on Arise TV and said the same thing, that, oh, the people need to learn the first line of defense. So the time have come for the people to guide themselves, because if you are waiting for the government to come and do something, or the military or whatever it is, Oga, before they come, they don't sweep all of them come out. Let me drop this here, guys. Please drop your comments in the comment section. Really love to hear from you. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Turn on the notification bell so that whenever I drop a video, you'll be the first to be notified. Thank you for watching this video. Have a blessed remaining part of your day. I'll see you next time.